Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luke of Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcast.
In brightest day,
in blackest nights,
No evil shall escape my sight.
that those who worship evil's might.
beware my power.
Green Lantern's light. Hello and welcome back to Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast. I am Phil. Joining me as always, Master of the Core, it is.
I am Will. Hey, everyone.
All right, kids. We're back to the present, 1998.
That's right.
Green Lantern 100 through 106, Emerald Knights. Because Will didn't get enough Hal Jordan the last month.
We needed more. But
So,
actually, I think I mentioned it, before we get started, that I really remembered almost nothing of this except him, the school bus scene. It was basically about all I remembered. The rest of it was, I forgot he went to the watchtower. I forgot all of that stuff. Well, it was 24 years ago.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, should we jump in? We got like 7 issues. Well, no. Well, first, you were asking about any Green Lantern news. The only thing I saw was I showed you in that Dark Crisis World Without a Justice League Superman issue. Next issue is the Green Lantern one, but I don't think that's till like next month. So,
yeah, and totally goes against most of the continuity established at the end of Green Lantern number 12. But hey, we'll figure it out as we go. Okay.
All right. Yeah, not a lot of Green Lantern news. I don't remember seeing anything. Again, after Dark Crisis number 2, it's been pretty quiet. Is it next week that the Jon Stewart movie comes out?
It was, Beware My Power. Is that
I think
it's
so.
the 25th.
Yeah, that'd be next week.
That should be next week. Yeah. I shall check on that real quick.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, I think it's 25th or 26th. Yeah, that's next week because it's the end of next week's the last week of July. So
yeah, there's something coming up on the 30th that I'm really looking forward to. Well, what could that be, Phil?
What?
Torture.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
The torture.
Yes.
What is the torture that's coming up at the very end of the month?
Oh, no.
Catwoman versus Green Lantern.
That's right, because Lilith Hellfire wants your pain, along with the rest of us.
There will be pain. There will be much pain.
Pain.
It is set for release on July 25th.
July 25th.
That's like a Monday, isn't it?
I was going to say, that's Monday, isn't it? I thought they usually release those on Tuesday. But
that weird. Very weird.
Unless because of streaming or something.
Who knows? That's also, I think, when the next season of Harley Quinn comes out. It's like the 25th, isn't it?
I think it's the end of July. Yeah, it's something like that. It's coming up. So
that show is so freaking funny.
There you go. Let's get some Sinestro in there.
Yeah.
Yes, according to this, Harley Quinn's in 9 days. So
the
July?
27th.
It is next week, July 28th.
Oh, 28th. Cool. Oh, yeah, today's the 19th, not the 8th. Sweet. Cool. Interesting, fun things coming out next week.
Yeah, some DC stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's do this thing.
All right. Yes, because we got a bunch of issues.
7 issues. One of them double sized.
Yes, the first one. Yes. Because of course, yes, it's divisible by 5, by 50, however you want to slice it.
And
Lord,
25 and 20.
Exactly. Yes, because it's Green Lantern Volume 3, number 100 from July 1998. In Brightest Days Past.
And actually, there hasn't been another number 100
Since this one. Yeah, no. Because they never let it get that far.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course, writer back again, friend of the show.
This is Ron Mars. You are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Penciler Daryl Banks, inker Terry Austin, colorist Rob Schwager, letterer Chris Iliopoulos, and editor Kevin Dooley. All right. Kyle Rayner. Remember where we were at last the month, kids? Yes, Kyle Rayner was, after visiting the Legion of Superheroes, was thrown back in time too far into the middle of a Hal Jordan Sinestro fight. So,
which we think we know based on a
Yes.
Wikipedia article as being Green Lantern Volume 2, number 9.
yes, that far, kids.
Quite a ways.
All right, here we go. Kyle Rayner digs himself out of rubble to find Sinestro fighting Hal Jordan in his Green Lantern garb. Cal's appearance distracts Hal long enough that Sinestro uses his yellow power ring to cage them both. He then tells the Lanterns that he is going to kill the Guardians. Cal uses his ring to break out of the cage, and he and Hal agree to stop Sinestro. It's like, what? Yellow? The Lanterns fly to Oa, where Sinestro has captured the Guardians with his yellow power ring and is gloating, twirling that mustache.
Yes.
Hal flies in and begins fighting Sinestro while Cal gets the Guardians to safety. Sinestro captures Hal and places him in a death trap. Cal goes to save Hal and Sinestro escapes. He's going to hang him. The Green Lantern Corps arrives and Cal tells everyone he is from the future.
Way to blow that secret.
I know. Again, you don't think the Guardians could have figured this out eventually?
They are supposed to be pretty smart.
After his story is told, Cal and the Corps recharge their rings at the central power battery.
Yay!
Then they go after Sinestro. They capture Sinestro and take him back to Oa. Once there, the Guardians devise a way to send Cal back to the future, but at the last minute, Sinestro pushes Jordan through the time portal, sending him to the future as well. So... timey-wimey, kids.
I'm going to show you the cover to number 9.
Oh, boy.
One moment. Let's see.
And we learned that, yes, it's supposedly story-wise, it's 10 years in the past. You know, Cal's like, somewhere right now I'm a kid and with a big, huge crush on Rebecca De Mornay.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, jeez.
That's the cover to number 9, right? Oops, on this side right here.
Looks like they're blasting Hal and Sinestro blasting that power battery.
That's right. Poor power battery. The battery's just no respect, man. No respect.
Oh my. All right. So
I did like the them switching rings. I thought that was clever.
Yes.
Oh, and we got to see Tomar Ray.
Yes.
Which was cool. Was Kilowog there? I don't remember. There was I thought Chasselon, but it wasn't Chasselon. It was a different one of his people, I think, because Chasselon.
Maybe, yeah. Come on, I was bringing up the issues here. But yeah, I mean, that was just the funniest thing the whole time with just, hey, my ring works against yellow, and which Hal and Cal used to their advantage later on when they switch rings.
Yeah, and then the him coming up to Ganthet and saying, "Oh, hey, you're Ganthet. Have you ever thought about tying your hair back and wearing a suit? You know."
Or Ganthet, who gave you that ring? Well, you'd be surprised, buddy.
You would be surprised. No, he shouldn't be because he's a guardian of the universe. Whatever.
And of course, the whole, Sinestro's going to kill the Guardians. We got to go save them because they probably won't defend themselves. And it's like, oh yeah, they are like that, right?
That is a pattern, isn't it?
See 50 issues again.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
mean-
crazy. We're over 4 years into Kyle as Green Lantern by this point.
Oh, true. Yeah. Okay, it's already been 50 issues or so. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he mentions Tomar Ray.
Oh, yeah. Kilwog's there. When the group's flying in through that hole in the
Cool.
ceiling. Yeah. I don't think he gets I don't know if he gets any lines, but yeah, he's there.
Sweet.
And to get the whole wrap up of how Cal got sent to the past. Oh, Graven and
Yeah. And then Brainiac is just being, I want this guy out of my hair. Go. There's Green Lanterns in this time. Go. Just go. Which is weird. Now, not to be too much of, comic book guy from The Simpsons, but didn't we read a story not too many weeks ago where Hal travels to the 57th century?
yeah, oh, that 57 or was yeah.
With his ring, so that can travel through time. But yeah, okay. We're just gonna go with it, man.
Well, again, this was Hal Jordan from Green Lantern 9. Maybe he doesn't know how to do that yet.
Until he gets to 50 more issues or so, right?
Yeah. He's still. I mean, at this point, isn't that the whole gag? It's like, at this point, Cal has more experience than Hal.
Yeah, I think so. Except Hal's been trained. Well, it's weird because do we count Emerald Twilight or Emerald Twilight 2 at this point? I mean, did those happen in this continuity still? Maybe. I don't know.
But I mean, I guess there's no sense of pressure. They're just like, oh, the space-time continuum isn't collapsing, so I guess we're okay to stay at the moment. Yeah.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Oh my. All right. So any other thoughts on that, or should we get to the next one?
For a double-sized 100 issue, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, the art was.
Yeah.
Who did the art again?
That was Daryl Banks.
Daryl Banks. Okay, it was a double size, which is why I don't think he did the art. I think Jeff Johnson and Paul Pelletier did the art for the other ones, right?
Yeah, and I'm trying to look this up. I'm trying to remember. The next 6 might be. Were they like bi-weekly or something? Maybe too. So
yeah, I think so. Let me look at that real quick.
Where's my link for the next one? Yeah, because 100 was extra sized, and then oh yeah, I think it is because 101 and 102 are both saying August. So
gotcha.
So not only was 100, but it's bi-weekly.
Yeah, so it was kind of a big deal. I mean, Green Lantern at this time was doing really well, right?
I think so. I mean, I think Kyle's still selling well, so it'll be another
80 issues.
I was gonna say 6 years or so before we bring Hal back.
Yeah. We're closing in on that point, but we are not there yet. Let's see.
And again, Modern Comics would never. Cal started at issue 50. They would have renumbered that.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it looks like early August, late August, early September, late September, early October, late October, and then 107. It looks like it jumps back to just November, and that's the 1 million issue as well. So.
Oh, so next week.
Yeah, next week. DC 1 million.
All right, should we get to the next one?
You bet.
All right, so yes, Green Lantern 101 from August 1998. Emerald Knights, Chapter 1, Coming to Terms. Once again, Ron Mars, like you said, penciler Jeff Johnson, Inker Bob Wyzak, colorist Rob Schwager, letterer Chris Iliopoulos, and editors Kevin Doley and Dana Curtin. Kyle Rayner has finally returned from the future, but a young Hal Jordan has been drawn to the present with him. While Hal is very excited, Cal needs to find a decent way to tell his predecessor everything that happened, or rather will happen. Before Cal was able to explain everything, Hal takes off to Coast City and, of course, is shocked to find nothing but vacant land and a statue of himself at what has become the memorial site of Hal Jordan. Now Hal listens to what Cal has to say about his future, the destruction of Coast City, Hal Jordan killing the other members of the Green Lantern Corps and the Guardians of the Universe, as well as Hal's final demise.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Sure.
Killing at this point, the only Green Lantern that Parallax killed was Kilowog, right?
Yeah, but didn't they always like technicality? It's like, well, when he drained that battery, he left a bunch of lanterns powerless, so there might be guys floating in space and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Which is weird to think about because the ring would still have a charge, even if the central power battery was gone, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, I mean, unless your 24-hour charge ran out, yeah.
Unless you're, quantum decomposing it like was in current Green Lantern stuff. But anyway,
feedback.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just found it weird that Kyle says you killed the Green Lantern Corps. It's plural, not just you killed Kilowog, right?
Oh, or is it more symbolic, where it's like you destroyed that battery, so none of the rings work, so you quote unquote killed the Green Lantern Corps,
and which leads into a really great last page for this whole storyline, which we'll get to.
Hal Jordan freaks out about all this news. He destroys his statue and then just flies away. Cal does not follow him because he feels that Hal has to come to terms on his own. And that works out well because after Hal saves a group of crippled children from getting run over by a train, he gets his emotions in check again and returns to Cal. They decide to visit the JLA and try to find a way to send Hal back to his time. Meanwhile, here we go. Desaad makes Calabac think that now is a good time to attack Hal Jordan.
Perfect.
I mean,
yeah. Okay.
Calabac battle count 61. Desaad, captured him in 91 or 92. Now hey, let's pull more crap.
Let's do this again. I mean, and then we get Tom and Carol back, but then we don't actually see them again. They're coming in the next issue, but then so it's I don't know, it's kind of weird because Hal's like, hey, I'm just gonna stay and hang out here, and because I don't want to turn into the bad guy, but dude, the bad guy saved the planet, okay?
Exactly.
You can't time stream.
You pulled a bunch of crap, but you saved the Earth in the end.
Yeah. I was a little bit surprised at just how badly Kyle broke the news to him. I mean, it was.
I know.
I'll just let him fly ahead, and he can, find out for himself. It'll be okay. I'm sure it'll be all right. He doesn't have a history of, going evil or anything.
I know.
But I guess it worked out.
I know. I'm like, you should have found the way to tell him, right away. Or just pull the old, hey, you probably shouldn't know too much about your own future.
Yeah, exactly. But as soon as, and I think I mentioned this, I had completely forgotten basically about how this progressed and then ultimately ended because I didn't
Yeah,
remember
you
details,
said all
right?
you remembered was the kids getting hit by the train almost.
Yeah, the train getting hit. Yeah, or the train hitting the little bus. So yeah, but I think it was it made a lot of sense for Mars to have Parallax be the one, and the Parallax from post Green Lantern 50, pre 0 hour number 5, right? Did I
Yes,
get that
yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. Or no, number 4. Number 4. It was 5 issues, but it went 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, right? Is that right?
43210.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So this ultimately we get that Parallax, I think. Yeah.
Yes, because he's going back in time. Yes, he was like, I was coming back in time and I saw something that wasn't supposed to be there myself.
Yeah. Wait, this is getting really confusing.
Oh, wait till 106. All right.
Yeah.
All right, should we get to the next one?
You bet.
All right, Green Lantern number 102, August 1998. Like I said, bi-weekly. Emerald Knights Part 2, Old Friends. Again, writer Ron Mars. This time, penciler Paul Pelletier.
Yay!
Our old friend Pelletier. So, I mean, yeah, they're bringing all the artists out for this. Inker Terry Austin, colorist Rob Schwager, letterer Chris Iliopoulos. Again, editors Kevin Dooley, Dana Curtin. All right. God. Guy Gardner, Alan Scott, and John Stewart anxiously await the arrival of Kyle Rayner to start their regular poker game. But they are shocked as they see that Kyle is accompanied by a young Hal Jordan. I'm like, should he call on the phone and be like, hey, I have a young Hal Jordan with me.
Yeah, maybe we should call ahead so Guy doesn't freak out and blow us off the face of the planet.
Exactly. Then Cal quickly explains how Hal time traveled into this era, and the other former Green Lanterns introduced themselves to Hal. But Hal feels a little uncomfortable in the Warriors bar and decides to visit some old friends. Yeah, because he hadn't met Guy and John yet, and he's like, "Oh, I've heard of you, Mr. Scott."
Yeah, I mean, Guy didn't appear until his first appearance was Green Lantern 59, I believe, and then
I think, yeah,
John's was what, 85?
something like that. It was in 85, 87, something like that. So yeah, so he has.
Yeah, and he doesn't.
That's probably another reason we did issue 9. So he's like, yeah, he don't know nobody.
I know he meets Alan Scott in Green Lantern 40.
Yeah,
There's the big Earth 2 crossover thing in that one.
Yeah, I don't think he's met him yet. He just says, "Oh, I've heard of you." Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yes, he decides to go visit old friends. So yes, next we see Carol and Tom just finishing and monitoring a test flight of a new jet as Hal approaches them. To Hal's surprise, Carol greets him with a passionate kiss and then confirms that he is really Hal Jordan. And what about that line she throws out? She's like, "Oh, I do like younger men." And Kyle Rayner's like, "Yes."
That's a big spoiler there for many years down the
road. But see, it's in canon, kids.
It is in canon. Yeah, it is.
The conversation is abruptly stopped by the attack of Calabac, the son of Darkseid, another son of Darkseid, who intends to kill Green Lantern once and for all. But Hal Jordan perseveres, and after a short fight, Calabac goes up in flames due to an explosion of jet fuel caused by Hal Jordan.
An expensive explosion of jet fuel.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could say it's either, lose the jet fuel or lose the whole place.
Yeah, exactly.
Although Calabac survives, he stops further attacks and even compliments Hal on the victory. But Calabac also threatens Hal that he will return to kill him. Looking at his old friends, Carol and Tom, Hal suddenly envisions staying in this era.
Now, I will freely admit that my memory is obviously, as we've spoken about earlier, not the best. But
so you didn't remember this at all?
Does Calabac ever? Does any of this ever come back? Does Calabac?
Does Calabac come back? I'm trying to remember. If he does, it's a wow. Because I don't remember like a big.
Well, I mean, it was Hal specifically, so we don't see Hal again. Not as a Green Lantern anyway. I mean,
Yeah, no,
the Spectre is coming, but
that's like
I don't.
118 or something. So
Yeah, I don't remember seeing anything about Calabac.
I don't
Either
think.
attacking
Yeah.
Kyle. I mean, it seems like
Well, and again, I mean, we got crossovers coming up. We got DC 1 million, then Cal's going off into space. Spoilers. Then what is that, Day of Judgment or whatever?
yeah, Spectre Hal.
And then by 125, or what was it, 125 or so, Mars is going to be gone. So
Yeah.
well, again, look, Calabac showed up in 61. Then there was nothing until 92 when Desaad pulled his crap. So it's
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, see, they make like at least
in about 2 years, give or take.
They're patient, man. I'll tell you.
Uh-huh.
Give that to them. But yeah, I love how just like streaks in.
Yeah.
Not subtle, just
Well, that is certainly in character.
yes. Early Hal Jordan.
Now, I get the feeling that Hal's identity seems to be public because he's worried what the school teacher thinks. Don't you know who I am?
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing maybe not his name, but everyone knows that Green Lantern became Parallax, maybe, or at least it's like maybe it became public when it's like, oh yeah, he sacrificed himself to reignite the sun and stuff.
I don't know. It's just weird because I don't think they ever really come out and say it, and then it's completely swept under kind of the rug later when suddenly he's back with a secret identity.
Unless that's just Hal thinking, oh, everyone has to know about, Hal just thinks everyone knows about this. Yeah. But I love Carol kisses him, and he's like, whoa, he's like, in my time we were barely friends.
But that changed pretty quickly.
Old love him and leave him, Jordan.
That's right.
All right. Should we get to the next one?
You bet.
All right. Sorry for flying through these kids, but yes, there are 7 issues. I'm sure we'll have thoughts at the end, especially that last issue.
We will have thoughts. We will.
All right. Green Lantern 103, September 1998. Emerald Knights Part 3. God, Strange Bedfellows. Which I think you take that as one of several ways.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, Ron Mars again writing. Artist this time, Jeff Johnson's back with Anthony Williams.
Cool.
2 inkers, Bob Wysek and Andy Lanning. Everyone else is the same. Kyle Rayner and Hal Jordan teleport into the Watchtower and are welcomed by the current members of the JLA, excluding Batman.
Batman,
Exactly.
my favorite character.
Again, we're setting the groundwork.
Yeah.
Cal already explained to them how a young Hal Jordan got into this time era. Although the reception of the JLA seems neutral, they have agreed to offer Hal membership. When Hal quickly accepts, but Cal is disappointed because he thinks that the JLA no longer needs him. Flash tries to appease Cal, but he just teleports back to Earth. So I'm assuming Hal's in the Justice League already by Green Lantern number 9? That original team?
I think so. Yeah.
Because I think he knew John and he knew Aquaman. It's like, oh, you're changed, but yeah.
Hang on a second, and I will check on that.
But yeah, pretty sure because he knew Martian Manhunter, he knew Aquaman, he knew Barry Allen, but he's like, you're not Barry Allen.
Yeah.
So at first I was like, why didn't he say, oh, it's me, Wally? But maybe he hasn't met Wally yet at that point.
Okay, so according to the Grand Comics database at comics.org, Brave and the Bold number 28 was in March of 1960. And Green Lantern number 9 was December of 61. So yeah, he's already in the league.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'm sure Mars did his homework, yeah.
Yeah.
So And thanks to the retcon, I don't think Superman was in the league at that point. So.
I don't think Wonder Woman was either.
No, yeah, because after Crisis, it was
things got weird.
No Batman and Superman. Black Canary replaced Wonder Woman. Yeah,
but then it's all back. So forget we never said that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Cal gets back to New York just in time as a skyscraper is rocked by a bomb explosion. Cal saves a lot of lives this evening, but the police are more concerned with the property damage he inflicted with his actions. Of that cop, and Cal's like, "Not today. This is not the day to get in my face." Angrily,
my car, dude.
Angrily, Cal flies to his apartment and tells Jade what caused his bad mood. Jade is very appreciative, and after she assures Cal that he can always count on her support, they kiss each other.
Bum, bum, bum.
I don't think that necklace has disappeared yet, has it?
Maybe. It's been months, he said, I think, in this issue, right?
I think, but I thought they literally showed it like dissolving, but if not, I'm assuming it's soon if it hasn't yet.
Yeah, I guess it will be soon.
So yes, they kiss. Later that night, Batman appears in Cal's bedroom and tells him that he agreed to make Hal a member of the JLA to keep an eye on him because he does not trust him. Batman doesn't trust anyone. Get out of here.
Batman, my favorite character. Into the Dark Knight, all to do with Batman.
Yep.
Batman's paranoid. Get out of here.
Yep.
So what does he think? Does Batman think this is like a Parallax trick, or is he just like, oh, he went bad once, he'll go bad again? Give him a couple years. Might be take him 10 years. He's gonna go bad.
I'm like, wait, that makes zero sense. But whatever, Batman.
But again, I mean, it's a man out of time. So I guess you could just say, make sure he doesn't mess the time stream up. And Batman.
They really don't seem to be too concerned about the time stream, do they?
It's like, hey, nothing's happened, nothing bad's happening, so I guess Hal can stay. And Batman also makes it clear to Cal that he is still the Green Lantern of the JLA and that all members trust him with their lives. At least Batman told him.
Yeah. A very special issue of Green Lantern.
But kids, not only these issues are on the DC Universe Infinite app, but I guess there was a Green Lantern Emerald Knights trade, it says here. So you could probably get these issues for not too much. I don't think they are to be that expensive.
Yeah, so. I don't think that they're that expensive at this point.
So back issue bins,
yeah, back issue bins, eBay.
It's been reprinted in trade, so these should be easy enough to track down. All right, Will. Not a lot. I mean, not a ton of Hal this time, but what did you think of this one?
I don't know. I understand what Mars was doing. I just felt like Kyle. I feel like he made Kyle overreact a little bit too much.
Yes,
because he's been in the league at this point. They've fought white Martians together, okay? it makes it clear that he's always kind of fighting the ghost of Hal, and then, hey, wait, now here's Hal right here in real life, So, it's interesting.
I mean, it's not a bad story, but I think it's a lot of shock and awe. It's like, oh, look, young Hal Jordan in the future.
Yeah. Exactly. And he knows his future, so something's going to have to happen to fix that.
You think?
Indeed.
Should we get to the next one?
Let's go.
Oh, God. Green Lantern number 104 from September 1998. Emerald Knights Part 4, and also Greener Pastures conclusion. Part 2. Because, yes, kids, I mean, we're not going to cover it here tonight, but yes, this was part 2 of a story with that started in Green Era 136. So
Now, wasn't that really close to the final issue of
Yeah,
Green Arrow?
yeah. Because I believe that makes sense because I think there was a 137, and then I think kind of sort of the last issue, quote unquote, was like one of the like a Green Arrow 1 million, I think.
Okay, and he started. Was he behind this Green? Was he a higher number than this Green Lantern series or a lower number? I can't remember.
What, Connor?
Yeah.
He showed up with Oliver in like the 90s, but yeah, Oliver dies in 100 and then he takes over. So he hasn't been around. He hasn't been around as long as he didn't get as many issues as Kyle did.
Well, there was a 1988 series. Was there a later series? Let me see.
What, after this?
No, I'm wondering if nope, this was the series. So, oh wow, 137.
Yeah,
was the final issue except for 1 million. So,
yeah.
Wow, interesting. I did not know that.
I was like,
toward the end. I didn't realize.
Are we trying a fourth time for Green Lantern to boost Green Arrow? But this time was it too late already? Because
yeah. So 136 was the crossover. 137, and then
then you got a 1 million issue. Yeah.
I wonder if it went 136, 1 million, then 137 was the final issue. Maybe.
I don't know. We'll look. I mean, this is Green Lantern 104. We have like 2 more Green Lantern issues before we get the 1 million. So 137 may have come before 1 million.
It did. You're right. 1 million was the final issue of the series. Wow, that blows my mind. They made they made a weirdly numbered issue, part of a giant crossover, the final issue of the series.
Go ahead, throw it in.
That's crazy.
Unless they just had it planned already, so they're just like, you know what, we got it sitting there, just throw it in.
Wild. That is wild.
So 136 was a crossover with Hal. 137 was probably technically the last Connor issue. And then, Green Arrow 1 million.
Yep.
And then he was done for a couple years until Kevin Smith came in.
Yeah, and I'm not. I don't remember when that was, but we know the reason it was possible was because of Parallax, right?
Yes, I think it was like 2000 or 2001. I think maybe. So okay. I mean, I think it was like at least
there was a gap.
Yeah, there's at least a 2-3 year gap. So, well, again, it's Kevin Smith, but
yeah. Sorry, I sound better.
All right, so yes, this is Emerald Knights Part 4, Greener Pastures Conclusion. That's the title. Paul Pelletier's back, kids.
Yay!
The team's pretty much this. Well, one inker, one colorist. Yeah, Terry Austin, Rob Schwager. Yeah. All right, so we have a young Hal in the future, so we have to do some retconning, kids. Years ago, Hal Jordan was a test pilot for the Air Force, but while flying a new bomber prototype, his co-pilot, Hardy, tried to take over the bomber, fly it out of the country, and sell it. Hal was able to stop Hardy, but neither can he prevent the destruction of the prototype nor the escape of his co-pilot. Unfinished business.
Screams unfinished business.
I know. In the present, Hardy has returned, sold an A-bomb to the new Eden Corps, who they were kind of sort of responsible for the death of Oliver Queen.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah. It was like basically a bomb, Oliver basically had to hold on to a bomb so it didn't like destroy Seattle, and it killed him, yeah. Superman was on the scene and got microscopic traces of Oliver on his cape, and that's how Parallax brings him back soon.
Spoilers.
Wait a minute.
That's how he brings his body back. He has to get his soul from heaven.
Yes.
For somehow thing happens. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, again, Oliver was running around without a soul, and then it's like this old guy was like doing like dark magic crap. It was gonna like take over Oliver's body, and body Oliver talks to soul Oliver in heaven. He's like, you need to get back, because Oliver's like, I'm at peace. Let my body run
done.
around. But yeah, body Oliver's talking to soul Oliver and says, no, you have to come back, or this guy's gonna do horrible things with our body.
Yeah.
But no, okay, so they never say it, but did Parallax time travel to bring Oliver back? Because Parallax is dead at this, present day Parallax is dead at this point.
Yes, but I think he started the reconstruction.
Oh yeah.
Back then, and it
because
took a
Oliver
while
is
for
dead.
it to,
Oliver is dead. Yeah, because in issue 1, they say Oliver's been wandering around for months, like with amnesia and stuff. Yeah. No, you're right. So yes, Oliver's already alive, but nobody knows it yet. Okay.
Yeah, and I read the description of Green Arrow 1 million. It says Connor meditates to project himself into the future to see that Green Arrow is alive in the past. What?
I do kind of sort of remember that. Yeah.
I mean, I understand what they mean. It's just like,
yeah. Well, because most of the Connor issues were like, my father's alive, and it's like a lot of the issues are him like searching for Oliver, and everyone's like, no, kid, he's dead. He's dead. So
Superman was there. You're not calling Big Blue a liar now, are you?
You got chunks of him on his.
Yeah.
So this Hardy sold an A-bomb to the New Eden Corps and helped them to capture not only Hal Jordan, but Connor Hawke as well. The latter has a special interest in the New Eden Corps because that group is responsible for the death of his father, Oliver Queen, which we just talked about.
Yep.
Now Hal and Connor are tied to the A-bomb, which is scheduled to detonate in Seattle again. But Connor is able to free Hal and himself, and while he tries to take off the A-bomb, Hal is eager to fight Hardy, who also still possesses the Ring of the Green Lantern. As he did years ago, Hardy jumps out of the plane with a parachute, but Green Arrow uses a perfect shot to detach the chain holding the power ring from Hardy's neck. With his regained power, Hal has no problem to catch Hardy and hand both him plus the New Eden Corps over to the authorities.
Yep.
Again, Green Arrow is coming to an end soon. We got to tie up that Eden Corps stuff.
Yeah. This just felt weird.
Yeah. Like I said, again, were we trying to bump Green Arrow sales? But the end's pretty much here. So
yeah, I just, we have something called, this overarching storyline called Emerald Knights, and Kyle's not even really in this issue.
Yeah, no, I mean, did it seem like with these bi-weekly issues, it kind of seemed like, they were both in 101. 102 was a Hal issue. 103 was more of a Cow issue. 104, it was a Hal issue.
Yeah.
And then the last two are kind of
our big thing. Yeah. I mean, this particular story, it seems very 90s to have a crossover in a crossover. I mean,
part 4 of one crossover, part 2 of another crossover. Yes.
I mean, that's peak 90s right there.
Yes. Any more 90s, it would add a holographic cover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was just basically, hey, let's let Hal run ragged over the DC universe for all, young Hal rediscovered the DC universe, which I'm surprised he didn't show up in more books. I mean, he wasn't around that long, but I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's interesting because did he show up in JLA?
I
don't
think so.
I don't think so. I think it was just the Green Arrow book, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, it was a small window because
just 3 months. So
except for after 101 through 106 were bi-weekly, so it was probably only 3 months. So yeah, it was probably hard just to
very strange. I was like, wait a minute, this is a crossover? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Again, the only thing he crossed over with was Green Arrow. He must have needed help. Later, Hal and Connor stand beside the grave of Oliver Queen. For the time traveling Hal, the situation is difficult because he has yet to become best of friends with Oliver. But he bets that Oliver Queen is smiling down upon them right now because his son and Hal have stopped his murderers.
Except I guess he is smiling down, but he's also roaming around amnesiac too.
Yeah, half of him is smiling down from having, yes. Oh, it's funny. Yeah, the first page of the last page of Green Arrow #1. Yeah, they show me. He looks like homeless. He's been living on the streets. He got the big beard, and instead of like a boxing glove arrow, he has like a detergent bottle on the end of an arrow.
Yeah, I think that's that Kevin Smith and Phil Hester, and
Yes.
yeah, that was a good series.
Yeah, Phil Hester did some good work there. Yeah. I guess they created onomatopoeia. Bang.
Bang.
Who would later go on to a Batman miniseries by Kevin Smith that I think, what was that, like 2009, and Kevin Smith has yet to tie that up.
Oh,
that massive cliffhanger, he has yet to tie that up.
Nice.
Literally, he has someone murdered on the last page. Spoilers, and it's like he has yet to wrap that up.
That's only 13 years ago, Phil.
I know. I guess that's better than Daredevil the Target, which was supposed to be a mini series, but only one issue of it ever came out. So,
and wasn't there was it a Black Cat series?
Yeah, he did complete that. It took, I'd say, at least 2 or 3 years, but yes, he did complete that. What was that, 6 issues or something, 5 or 6 issues?
Okay.
Yes.
The good old days. The good old days.
Yes. But yeah, this was the first part of this was from Green Arrow 136, like we said. I wonder if they had the Green Arrow issue in that Emerald Knights trade.
I don't know. That's a good
I would
question.
assume, because Hal was there and it's part 1 of this weird 2-parter.
Let's see if I tell you what, as you read the next one, I'll see if I can find out that answer for you.
All right. All right. So yes, all right, kids. I think it's weird now. Just hold on. Green Lantern #105 from October 1998. Haunted by the Past. Writer Ron Mars, of course. Pencilers Jeff Johnson's back with Scott Eaton. Inkers Bob Wysick and Don Hudson. Colors Rob Schwager. Letterer Chris Iliopoulos. And of course, editors Kevin Doley and Chuck Kim. All right, so this one we see Kyle Rayner, the current Green Lantern, flying in the Warriors, which is completely destroyed. He was supposed to meet John Stewart and Guy Gardner to see some blueprints about expanding Warriors. He can't find John or Guy anywhere, but hears a voice and removes some debris and finds John and puts him on a construct of a chair. Cal doesn't know who did this, but he thinks Sonar, Major Disaster, and Darkseid went on a rampage in the bar. They then find Guy behind the bar. He looks better than he feels, but his Vuldarian heritage is healing himself. Cal asks both of them what happened, but Guy tells him not what happened, but who happened, and tells Cal that it was Hal who wrecked the bar. Guy tells Cal what happened. John and Guy were looking at blueprints on expanding the bar, waiting for Cal to show up and give his opinion. Suddenly, Hal Jordan pops up right behind Guy, scaring him completely. He tells them that he just wanted to talk. Guy and John think that this is the Hal that came 10 years from the past, but when Hal looks at the statue of himself and calls himself naive, John notices that this isn't the Hal that they know because this Hal looks older. Hal tells John that he's right and transforms into Parallax and attacks them. Wondering where the younger Hal is. Both of them attack Parallax, but they are outclassed. Guy then activates his Vuldarian powers and attacks Parallax with their powers equally matched initially, but Parallax manages to defeat Guy. John walks up by the bar and sees his hands glowing with green energy. When Parallax is about to destroy Guy, John unleashes the power on Parallax, which stuns him for a moment. But Parallax just gets up and drains the remaining power from John. Guy then comes up and tells Parallax that he will tell him where the younger Hal is if he lets John go, which Parallax does. Guy then tells him that Hal is living at the Justice League Watchtower, but he tells Parallax that he has to go through him to get there and reactivates his powers. Parallax charges a Guy, and a huge explosion occurs that destroys the bar. Once the smoke clears, we see only Parallax standing. He then blasts through the ceiling and flies towards the Watchtower. Man, how petty, man. He could have just disappeared, couldn't he?
Yeah, and I'm a little unclear. He wanted to just sit and talk and find out where he was. I don't understand I wish you would have just talked to me because then I wouldn't have to kill you, but I'm going to ask you where I am. And what? That's going to give it away? I don't understand. But Emerald, that issue of Green Arrow is in the Emerald Knights trade paperback.
Oh, nice. I figured.
Yeah, I was a little confused by this.
Yeah. Again, well, we have to ramp up the menace of Parallax.
Yes.
Now that Cal knows what happened and where Parallax is headed, he heads off towards the watchtower and tells Guy to take John to the hospital. Cal is bewildered as to how Parallax can still be alive since he died reigniting the sun, and what Parallax is going to do once he finds his younger self. Meanwhile, in the watchtower, young Hal, is looking at the stars when Martian Manhunter walks up behind him and tells him that he'll be retiring for the night to meditate and that he has the watchtower all to himself. He also tells Hal that he's glad he's back, and Hal tells him that he is as well. And as he sees a streak of green energy heading towards them. As Cal is flying towards the moon, he catches up to Parallax and knocks him onto the surface of the moon. Parallax doesn't know who Cal is, but Cal tells him that he does know him as Green Lantern. But Parallax tells him that there are no Green Lanterns anymore. Cal is then told by Parallax that he's a time traveler from the future who sensed a disturbance in this time stream. His younger self had arrived in this era when he wasn't supposed to be, and that he's here to return him to his proper time. Cal then realizes that this is the Parallax from when he tried to reorder the universe and tells Parallax that he should be the one going back to his time. But Parallax tells him that it is not an option and attacks Cal. The battle between the two is tremendous, but Cal knows that he can't beat Parallax when it comes down to raw power, so he decides to be creative. He then creates a construct of Kilowog, who was killed by Parallax in Green Lantern Emerald Twilight just before he killed Sinestro in the Guardians of the Universe. At first, Parallax is surprised to see his former mentor, but realizes that he's not real and destroys the Kilowog construct and resumes his attack on Cal. Cal then realizes that if Parallax is here out of his time, then so is the younger Hal. If the younger Hal stays in this time, then he'll never become Parallax and Cal will never get the ring. Cal also realizes that if Hal doesn't become Parallax, then Parallax won't reignite the sun and die, and Earth would be destroyed. Cal tries to stop the battle so that he can talk with Parallax, but Parallax sends a beam around Cal and strikes him from behind. Parallax stands above Cal and tells him that it's too late to talk or anything else except to find Hal Jordan. But Parallax is told not to bother as he turns around and sees the younger Hal Jordan charging towards him. As the issue ends and the battle between Parallax and Hal Jordan continues in the next issue. I don't want to say we're pandering to Will Allred, but Hal Jordan versus Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan.
Well, actually, there's something that I think is really cool that we're going to see. We saw it a little bit here, or maybe we didn't, but we definitely see it the next issue. But he never refers to himself as Hal. He always calls him Parallax.
Yes.
Which I think is kind of cool and certainly can be said to be laying the groundwork for what happens in about 80 issues.
Yes. Oh, okay. I know we were trying to remember this because they remember he drains John's powers in this issue because they were originally given to him by Parallax and Parallax Emerald Knight #1 during Final Night. Now that the power is drained from him, John is once again paralyzed and won't be able to walk again until Green Lantern 147.
Wow, I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that.
So yeah, Parallax, you're a dick.
Yeah. But then he's not. But he did it in the reverse order, so I guess he is.
Well, from John's perspective, he gave him the power. Now he's taking it away.
Yeah. From his, he took it away and then gave it to him. So time travel. Ugh.
I know. So yeah, so Mars will be long gone by the time John walks again.
Yep.
Any thoughts, William?
That's a pretty good setup. I mean, we knew it had to happen because Kyle finally realizes, but wait a minute, he doesn't go back, then he doesn't, and then he has to become
Parallax to save the Earth. Yeah,
exactly. And I would have thought that Batman, Superman, Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, The Flash, and list any other number of characters would have said, well, duh, he's got to go back.
Well, yeah, you would think who would have said, yeah, he has to.
Batman.
Yeah.
My favorite character.
You would think Batman would be like, yeah, he's got to die, kid.
Time stream. Protect the time stream.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's like no one thought of that. Killing me, kids. All right. So any other thoughts, or should we get to the last one?
Nope, let's do it.
With the cover of Hal Jordan beating on himself.
Oh, wow. Whoa, man.
Whoa. Green Lantern 106. That's right. We're wrapping it up. October 1998. The title. Time's Up. Again, we're on Mars. Penciler this time, Paul Pelletier.
Yay, we like him.
So I don't think we had Daryl Banks was only on issue 100 then, I guess, for this thing.
I think he probably, and it was a double-sized issue, right?
Yeah.
So he had to
And
get
again,
ahead.
the six after went bi-weekly, so maybe they were giving him a jump on 1 million and 107. And
Yep.
I think it's him in 107. Terry Austin, Rob Schwager, Chris Heliopoulos, Kevin Dooley and Chuck Kim. All right. We see Parallax fighting against his younger counterpart on the Earth's moon, with the current Green Lantern Kyle Rayner knocked out after battling Parallax in the previous issue. Despite the fact that Parallax has infinite power, Hal Jordan is beating his counterpart furiously by smashing him into the side of the mountain and into the ground. Oh, he's giving him the old little hellfire.
Smash it.
The beat down.
No. Despite the fact, Hal doesn't believe that Parallax is him, but Parallax tells him otherwise. He tells Hal that he's from the future. He was traveling the time stream when he felt a disturbance in the force. No. He felt a disturbance, which was Hal, because he doesn't belong in this time. The reason he's here in the present is to return Hal to the past, that history can continue the course that it has already traveled on in the present time. Hal knows everything that will happen to him after being told about it by Cal and blast Parallax. After knocking Parallax out, Hal goes to Cal to help him up. But when he looks up, he sees Parallax standing before him, about to use his powers. There's a big flash of emerald energy, and we then see the 3 Green Lanterns in Coast City. Parallax tells Hal that he has frozen time to the point just before it was destroyed by Mongol and Reign of the Supermen.
Green Lantern
The reason
42.
Parallax brought the two of them into the past was for a couple of reasons. He wanted to show Hal exactly what happened in Coast City that drove him mad and when he became Parallax. The reason why he brought Cal along was because he didn't want him involving anyone else in this situation. Essentially, it concerns no one but the two Hals. Just thinking about his own pain.
Yeah.
Shallow Hal. Parallax shows Hal around the city in that moment before it was destroyed. Parallax tells Hal that time will unravel itself if he doesn't go back in time to the era where he belongs. But if he stays in the present, he is guaranteeing that he won't become Parallax, which means that he won't be able to undo what has happened, including the destruction of Coast City. However, Hal doesn't believe him, saying that he doesn't want to become him and that he would rather become someone else than Parallax. The older Hal accepts the younger Hal's point, and both men decide that they will have to fight each other to settle the situation. So Parallax blasts Hal into a window, but Hal knows that Parallax can't kill him, but that's not Parallax's intent. He wants to send Hal back, but even if he succeeds, Hal will have the knowledge to prevent himself from becoming Parallax.
Is your head hurting yet?
Parallax then bashes Hal again, reminding him of his best friend Barry's death, Barry Allen, and how he can fix everything. But Hal reveals to Parallax that Green Arrow is dead, which stops Parallax long enough for Hal to blast him with a construct of one of Green Arrow's trick arrows. Oh, yeah, well, what about Hal Jordan? Well, yeah, well, what about Oliver Queen? What?
Wait, what?
Oh, he hasn't even put that arrow in his chest yet.
Exactly.
Parallax manages to bind Hal up, saying that he has to destroy everything in order to fix everything that's happened. But Hal breaks free, declaring that he will stop him. Hal blasts Parallax into a pillar, saying that it's not his decision to fix everything because he's only a man and he's trying to act like God. But Parallax tells him that if no one else will do it, why shouldn't he? Then they are both struck by a beam sent by Cal, telling them to stop. Man, look at the synopsis. Parallax reminds Cal that it is none of his business, but Cal reminds him that it is his business because he's Green Lantern. He tells them both. He tells that both of them that he says that both of them have to return to their proper times. He tells Hal that he must return to his time. He must become Parallax, or else it could mean the destruction of Earth. Literally, Hal tells him that he doesn't want to become Parallax and is about to strike his older counterpart. But Cal manages to stop him before he can do it. He then tells Parallax that he will fail in his efforts right now to restructure time, but in his future, he will save the Earth when the sun is extinguished and sacrifice his life for the planet. He tells Hal that despite his desire to keep Hal in the present to help him adjust in his role as Green Lantern, the world needs him to go back. Hal tells him that he can't go back, knowing his future, but Cal tells him that he can with his Green Lantern ring. Wait, I wonder why Hal Jordan's been messed in the head before. Parallax, Mind Wipe, Oregano.
That's right.
It's quite stew in there. For some unknown reason, Hal's ring has been able to do things Cal's cannot. Cal tells Hal that perhaps his ring can erase his knowledge of the future, and Parallax can do the same as well for his future. Cal tells both of them that the present hasn't unraveled yet, which means that there's still time for the both of them to return to their past and future respectively, and that there's no other choice. Hal agrees and gives Cal a hug, saying that he's glad that Cal is continuing the tradition of the Green Lantern, but he's still amazed at his older counterpart, hardly believing the actions that Parallax has committed and what he will commit in his future. But Parallax tells him that he will one day. The three Green Lanterns then combine their powers and they disappear, just as Coast City is destroyed, exactly the same as it did in the past. So if you looked up as you're about to die in Coast City, you might have seen the three of them standing there figuring.
Maybe, I don't know.
For 2 seconds at least. We then see Parallax knocking Superman out with one punch. Give him the old Guy Gardner.
Yeah. One punch.
As he's restructuring time, we then see Hal battling Sinestro. Hal eventually defeats Sinestro by destroying his yellow power ring and reminds him whose power ring is stronger. We then see Kyle talking with Jade about what happened recently. In his time as Green Lantern, he's realized by meeting Hal, the Green Lantern Corps, seeing Oa, that his job as Green Lantern is much bigger than protecting just Earth or New York City, but the entire universe as well, and shows Jade a duplicate of the Green Lantern ring. Yay! So yes, Hal's ring could duplicate itself. So yes, he left Cal a ring.
Pretty cool. That can charge off of Kyle's battery.
I need a new core. I got a powerless new girlfriend.
Got a list of things to work on.
We'll kind of get to that in 2 weeks. So.
Yeah.
Because Cal's kind of busy next week. But yeah, the destruction of Coast City, that was Superman number 80, kids. So.
Oh yeah. And it was dealt with in Green Lantern number 46, which is where he stopped Mongol.
Yes, when Hal comes back and is like, where's Coast City?
Whoops.
All right, William. Thoughts on this whole mess?
It was... I feel like it had a lot more potential. I mean, I wanted to see more of the core and that stuff, but I don't know. This felt a little unfocused because we had a crossover within a crossover at one point. Which
again, I think it was more like event than it's like, oh hey, look at this, and it's like, I guess we got to put him back.
Yeah, but it's great to see Hal. We had a general idea that if it involved time travel, it had to be undone, ultimately. So, I mean, it was, the art was great. The story was solid. So,
and was this kind of sort of Ron Mars trying to like redeem Hal Jordan, basically just like, if this Hal went through the same thing, if the destruction of Coast City had happened to him on a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday, maybe he wouldn't have become Parallax.
I don't know. It's maybe a little bit of redemption because he made him choose it.
Yeah.
Because you have to choose to be this. You have to choose to get infected with the Parallax entity, and because if you don't, the entire planet's gonna die, and I don't know. I think that sort of works and sort of doesn't work. I mean, I'm kind of ambivalent on it, I think.
The hardest part for me was Parallax himself, because it's kind of, he's basically went along with this plan. Wouldn't he have been like, okay, well, now I know you defeat me in 0 hours, so maybe I can try to, fix time so that whole Sun Eater thing doesn't happen.
Yeah. That does, I'm traveling. So he was in the future. Why was he in the future?
He was in 0 hour. Time was eating itself from like the end of time and the beginning of time, and just like gobbling itself up to the middle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Because there is like, remember, because we talked about it during summer of '69. I think wasn't in issue 4. I think they show the year 5708, and they're like,
That's
we know Hal Jordan's Dark Future. I'm like, why did you tell him a couple decades ago?
Exactly.
But you tell him in 1969.
But then he sees himself, but then suddenly that gets wiped, and he just continues on to where he was going. I mean,
I think they threw that in just so you didn't guess Parallax was behind the whole thing. It's like, oh, look, young Hal Jordan got killed in the future.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was nice to see Hal on the core again.
Yeah.
And I think I feel like that was the real kind of point of the story, was to get that and then get the ring at the end.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So at this point, are they okay? Ron Mars or editors or whoever be like, okay, maybe we can start ramping up again and like start slowly building a core again.
Maybe. I mean, it's still going to take them
quite
a while. Yeah, I mean, because I think in 150 he gets like a new costume and then goes off into space.
Ion.
Yeah, Ion. And John's left with a ring.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. John basically takes his place as Earth's Green Lantern, and then the JLA.
And then
he resurrects Kilowog while he's in space.
Yeah, Kilowog's ghost, or I forget. There's so much stuff.
It's like in the 160s or something. Yeah.
And then he also brings the Guardians back somehow.
Yeah. It's like little baby Guardians. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then there's wasn't there a hardcover, like the Last Will and Testament of Hal Jordan or something?
Yeah, that's on our list. We'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the Spectre.
Yes. Yeah. Spectre issues. Yeah, we're gonna get to all of this, kids.
And the Spectre's weird because his brother and his sister-in-law get killed, leaving him with a child, and then suddenly
after
the series
Rebirth,
ends,
his
and then his
family's
brother
alive.
and his sister are back, and I don't. New 52. Sorry.
Well, I'm trying to remember. I mean, I guess we'll get there after Rebirth, but it's like didn't he have 2 brothers? Were they both still alive, or was it?
It was. I don't know. Things get. I think they want. I feel like during Rebirth, they didn't want you to think about.
They didn't want you to think, kids. That's right.
They didn't want you to think about Coast City too much.
Yeah.
And the Parallax stuff.
Well, they literally rebuild Coast City.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, was it I forget? Was it the Spectre? I mean, stuff. Coast City literally gets rebuilt from the ground up,
and it's there.
We suck the Valdarian DNA out of Guy Gardner. So it's basically just replacing everything that's been gone.
Yeah, and I'd forgotten that John was, basically wearing a ring and being a Green Lantern, toward the end of that run.
Yeah. Because he actually shows. Yeah, he's from that point on. Yeah, he takes. He's actually in the JLA book too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, it's. I feel like this was the beginning of a really, really kind of slow rebuild.
Yeah, I mean we're slowly, but we're ramping back up. Yeah, we're gonna start. He's gonna try to rebuild a core, and
we get Circle of Fire coming up pretty soon. I think.
Yeah. So when he goes off into space, I think that's what he's doing. Or oh no, there's a new core 2-issue. That's like a 2-issue prestige thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I think I have it. And I'm sure I read it, but I don't really remember what happens in it.
Oh, we'll get there.
We'll get there. We will get there.
All right. Let me pull up. Anything else while I'm pulling up the schedule?
No, this was fun. A little confusing at times, but still fun.
Time travel. I mean, Bendis would steal that whole mind wipe thing when he brought the Young X-Men. Well, he brought the Young X-Men to the present, the original 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was gone by the time they cleaned it up. But they basically gave them a mind wipe so they didn't remember the future.
And sent them back.
And then it's like, they won't remember any of it until like their older selves get to that point. So once they send the teenagers back, all the adult Cyclops, everyone are like, oh hey, now I remember everything.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was just like just Jean Grey giving him the old telepathic mind wipe. Yes. So yes, as we said, next week we'll be doing DC 1 million, including Green Lantern number 1 million. So we're getting a bunch of Grant Morrison.
All up in our headspaces.
What is it? Yes, the 85,000 century. Yeah, it's 85,000 and something.
Yeah.
Yeah. They basically get the number. It's like, what year would it be if all these books hit like 1 million?
Well, even farther in the future than you thought, because they keep rebooting them.
True. Legacy numbering will.
Yeah, that's right. Legacy numbering.
If they hit the issue million, they're gonna celebrate it. Come on.
Yeah, that's. Will the Earth still be here then?
All right, so. And then in 2 weeks, Green Lantern 107, when I believe he gives the ring to his girlfriend. Not that ring.
Not that ring. Yeah, the Green Lantern ring. Yeah.
Yes. We'll talk Green Lantern 3D and Green Lantern Annual 7.
Awesome. Now, if I remember my Rebirth right.
You should. You read it every year.
I know. Green Arrow has a, in case of emergency, break glass ring, doesn't he?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
So, I'm trying to remember. Did they give him that during Hard Traveling Hero?
I don't know. Maybe after. I don't know. I'd have to.
I'm trying to remember if it's before that, because I know there's one arc in Green Arrow where he takes a road trip and he gets back all the stuff that got scattered when he died, and I think that was one of the because I think he gets his old pickup back, and I think. Was it Roy Harper? Somebody's like, "Why do you want that old truck back?" And I guess it was the one they took cross country. That whole thing.
Old timer.
I'm trying to remember. I think the ring might have been in the glove compartment. Yeah.
Ah, okay, cool. That's a cool bit of continuity that I did not know that they used for Rebirth. That's fun. Awesome.
Yes, we'll talk to you again, kids. We're gonna get to all this, so keep coming back.
We'll get there.
All right, kids. So yes, send your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, follow Sector 2814 on Facebook, on Twitter. Join the Green Lantern Facebook fan group. Find all the links to all the various social medias for all the shows we do, DC and Marvel. I've been slowly announcing this. Yes, kids, if you haven't heard about September yet, Lilith Hellfire's taking a vacation. I keep spreading the rumor. Yeah, she's going into rehab. She got too much Summer of '69. So, yes, it won't affect this show because Lilith's usually not on this show. But it's for the month of September for your Unlimited Justice League podcast. Mr. Will Allred and I will be doing some Legion of Superheroes. So. You're You're gonna get 2 weekly doses of Will All Red.
I'm
September,
so sorry.
Oh, please. All right, so stay tuned for all that. Find links to the YouTube channel. Everything we do goes on the YouTube channel. So, like Hal smashing his older counterpart, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss a second of it.
Smash it.
And of course, subscribe. Please subscribe to the Patreon. Again, right here on our own, no core. Paying for this out of our own pocket. Every little bit helps, but $3 to $5 gets you early access to creator interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with Mr. DG Chichester.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
And of course, superhero movie brackets because Love Hellfire loves man pain. And the July episode, like Will said, will be Halle Berry's Catwoman versus Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern with special guest. That's right, the man over there himself.
I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
See if you can defend that Hal Jordan piece of work. Again, it doesn't. You don't have to say it's great. You just have to say it's better than Catwoman.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
We'll see. All right, kids. So yes, all that, and Capes and Lunatics merch. Find it all at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and And speaking of being lost in time, follow Matt Kona at Matt Kona everywhere on social media. MATTKONA. Hopefully, we'll be able to pull him out of the time stream soon.
I don't know, maybe like 4 inches. Stuck it, Miller. When he gives me his bone.
That's the one.
See you later, bunkies.
All right, Mr. Will All Red, master of the core, master of the quantum zone, master of this hugely successful Kickstarter. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Walred. That's at WALLRED on Gmail and Twitter and Facebook and other social media that I've probably forgotten I've signed up for. But you can also find out about Crossover Division, which issue number 4 is currently on Kickstarter. And if you want to check it out, you can go to crossoverdivision.com/KS or /Kickstarter. Either one will get you to the campaign, which is, as Phil says, been going really well. We still have about 10 days left as of Tuesday, July 19th. So it's going to end on July 29th. And if you want to check out some other work by me, you can go to Diary of Night at diaryofnight.com. And that's with artist Gene Gonzalez. If you want to hang out and be annoyed by me even more, I am co-host of a show called Explain Yourself with writer Kevin Joseph, where we speak to crowdfunding, usually Kickstarter creators who have comics projects, live on the platform. It's a lot of fun. They tell us what's cool about their projects, and it is a whole lot of fun talking to a lot of other creators. And then, obviously, you have great taste in heroes, so you love Quasar as well. Don't we all? And if you want to find out more about Quasar, you can go to quantumzone.org.
I'll put it in my navel.
I am God. I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
Of course, yes.
Of course.
All right, kids. Yes, come back next week for... We're going to skip ahead. Green Lantern 1 million. DC 1 million.
Yeah, we went to summer of 69. Now we're going to the 850-some thousand century, right?
Who are we? Kyle Rayner? Bouncing all over the time stream.
Uh-huh. And we're doing all of DC 1 million, right? That's a 4-issue series?
It's 4 issues, yeah.
Okay. And then Green Lantern 1 million, so five issues. Gotcha.
Yeah. Like, we had to do all the tie-ins. It was like in every book that
everything got a 1 million, even
including Green Arrow that was canceled. All right, kids, come back next time, and remember, watch out punching yourself in the face. Good night.